Welcome back to another slice of music paper nostalgia. This time it's The Sounds, and this is from January the 20th, 1971. Price of the paper was 1 shilling. The UK was going through decimalisation and we were changing to pounds and pence, new pence, so 5p for this particular paper. So this is The Sounds, good cover, Ginger Baker on the cover there, which is great to see. And on the inside, a little feature about the demise of Ginger Baker's band, Ginger Baker's Air Force, as they were imploding and finishing. A little article on Eric Burdon. And then the fact that John Mayall is off to tour in Sweden and the Kinks have got a new album out. On the other side, some tour dates for the Byrds. Article on Ravi Shankar. Stan Getz is playing at Ronnie Scott's. And then over page we've got the best-selling 30 albums. So here's 1971, January. These are the best-selling albums at the time. Led Zepp 3, I can see there. Air Conditioning by Curved Air, which is an interesting album. T-Rex. Paranoid is in there as well. Debut album from Emerson, Lake and Palmer. And the brilliant second album from Santana, Abraxas. What also from 10 years after there. And then we've got the singles. This kind of sums up the UK here. So Rider, White Swan, My Sweet Lord, kept off #1 by Grandad by Clive Dunn, who was a character in a UK drama called sort of comedy, Dad's Army. So some great songs there. 8 Man I can see from the Kinks. The Mixtures Push Bike song, always love that song. I think it's great, No Matter What by Badfinger. That was tremendous as well, wasn't it? So some good songs there. Some good stuff. And then over this side, Radio Luxembourg. I often used to listen to that. It was on AM 208. Kid Jensen. Here's his heavy 20, as he called them. So we've got, if I just go a bit closer, Layla's there. Again, 10 years after, Wishbone Ash. John Mayall. The Allman Brothers, good to see. And then Paul Bennett's Top 30. This is more single-based. So there we can see My Sweet Lord and various other things. Great stuff. Little article of Nico in an interview. And then down here we've got 24 Oxford Street, which was, I think, the first Virgin record store that opened in London. And then we've got an article on Keith Relf from the Yardbirds and what next for him. And an article of lesser known band Bronco as well. Someone obviously cut out something interesting on the other page, which is a shame because that looked like it was a half-decent advert for an Iron Butterfly album. So we've got a bit of jazz going on this side. Big advert for Eric Burdon's new double album and some tour dates in February of 1971. Article on, is it Keith Tippett? I think he was from Bristol, which is not far from me. Little article on Jim Webb, and then an interview with Sly from Sly and the Family Stone. Over the page, not sure what that's about there, but we've got a really nice advert for a gig with Steamhammer. They were an interesting band. Junior's Wailing, which Quo covered. I think they originally did that, which is a really good kind of bluesy song. And over the page we've got a double spread on Ginger Baker, looking suitably mad as he was. And then some gigs, what was going on. Trees, they're a kind of a collectible band, not my thing, but very collectible. Ronnie Scott's. And then over the pages, that was the Faces there, wasn't it? Yeah, there's the Faces. Rod Stewart, a young Rod Stewart. And then lots of other gigs going on. Quite a lot of bands here I don't know. Wild Angels, Legend, Skin Alley. I've heard of them. I think they're on a compilation somewhere. But we've got Traffic, Ike Tina Turner, Elton John. And then down the bottom, plenty of adverts for a double header with Mott the Hoople and Wishbone Ash. Would have loved to have seen that. They also toured with a band called Red Dirt, of which I have an album by them. It's quite interesting. Elton John playing at the Greyhound in Croydon. and Alexis Corner on tour as well. And then over the page, feature on Mott the Hoople, band called Audience, I don't know. The other side of the Ginger Baker centre page. And then over here we've got some jazz album reviews. And then some other album reviews. And there were some crackers actually that came out during this week. So we've got American Beauty by Grateful Dead, and Laura Nyro, Christmas and the Beads of Sweat, Pearl, Janis Joplin, Wilson Pickett in Philadelphia, and the live album from Grand Funk Railroad is in there. And the Classic Spirit album as well. There we are, The 12 Dreams of Dr. Sardonicus on Epic, which is a great album. And then over the page, some feature on some guy who obviously worked for the BBC. A few things on folk. Some giant posters. Feature on John Anderson, sensitive writer as well as a distinctive lead vocalist, it says here. And then guitar survey, some little features on some guitar heroes of the time. So we've got B.B. King and Mick Taylor. Down the bottom there, Peter Green. And over the page, Jack Bruce and Eric Clapton. And then Chris Squire from Yes. And here we've got Duane Allman. So this was January the 30th, 1971. And I think Duane Allman died in November time of 1971. Sadly, what a talent that man was. Fantastic. Such a sad loss. Obviously we lost Dickie Betts as well recently. What a combination they were, amazing. Single reviews, interesting ones there for me would have been the Creedence Clearwater Revival, Have You Ever Seen the Rain on Liberty, which is a great song. And just beneath it, Ike and Tina Turner, Proud Mary, their cover of a Creedence song. And actually I think it's a pretty good cover, like that. That's great stuff. And then we've got the small ads here, the personal stuff, the sound equipment, the records wanted, all the normal stuff. And then the things over here for musos. I can see a Gibson Les Paul back in 1971 was £225. That was quite a lot of money then. And then the back page, little feature on Jimi Hendrix and a letter from someone. And they used to publish addresses and all sorts of stuff, didn't they? But here we go, look, where is it? Sally Lightfoot moaning the fact that the Led Zeppelin 3 album was, what happened to their heavy sound. So someone having a good old moan. There we are. So there we have it. There's the Sounds magazine from January 30th, 1971. 1 shilling or 5p. Great stuff. Cheers. I'll be back sometime soon. Cheers all.